Hello, everybody. Now, you've probably heard the news that 4 mayoral elections, which were due to be held in May 2026, have been postponed by the Starmer regime for 2 years until 2028, if they even go ahead at all. Now, most of the commentary on this from people in my area of politics, your area of politics, on the alternative right, if you like, are fuming about this and saying, isn't this terrible? This is another sign that the Starmer regime is anti-democratic. They're cancelling elections. But I have a completely different view on this entirely, because that narrative could not be further from the truth. It's actually a very, very good thing that these mayoral elections have been postponed, and I hope they never take place at all, which is what I've been saying for the last year or two. And the Heritage Party has been active in actually trying to get these postponed or cancelled and the whole scheme scrapped entirely. So this is being done under 2 parallel schemes, which are part of Labour's agenda to impose globalism on England and split England up into 40 different little fiefdoms, with a Sadiq Khan type figure at the top of each county or region that they split England into, who has total control over transport, housing and planning, environment, police and crime, perhaps even healthcare on a regional or county level. It is a really disastrous scheme, and if it gets put in place, it will be the end of England as we know it, unless we can, get it back to what it is now, or, even to what England was before the cultural destruction of the last 50 or 60 years began, and has, of course, been accelerated under Blair and then the Tories and now Starmer. County mayors, regional mayors, metro mayors are dreadful. You don't want a Sadiq Khan type figure in your county, which is why it is very, very odd that people like this person, Nigel Farage, fumes at monstrous Labour plans to put off mayoral elections. It's outrageous, says Farage. The Liberal Democrats are saying the same. The Tories are saying the same. But it's not. It's very good. The only reason that they're saying it is because they think they might win 1 or 2 of these mayoralties that have been created by the Starmer regimes, not because they care about the ultimate future of England or the United Kingdom. It's a very, very bad plan. The 2 parallel plans of local government reorganization and devolution, they're going hand in hand. So what they're doing is they're creating these metro mayors, which is the devolution part, which 4 of these have been postponed now. And they're also doing local government reorganization, where they are scrapping the existing districts and councils to create super districts called unitary authorities, which will have a minimum of 500,000 people in each. And that itself makes them far more removed and less accountable to local people. So here we have Farage saying that this is terrible, but it's only because he's thinking that he might win 1 or 2 of these mayoralties, like this year in Lincolnshire and East Yorkshire. He's not at all thinking that this is a really, really bad thing for England, which it is. So it's very good that they've been postponed. And of course, even with Farage's reform, they've now got a mayor of Lincolnshire. They've got a reform mayor of East Yorkshire. And the mayor of East Yorkshire has jumped straight on the net zero climate alarmism bandwagon, saying how wonderful renewable energy is. Let's have more wind turbines. Let's have more solar panels. Let's have more battery energy storage systems, which is completely the opposite to Heritage Party policy, which is always to protect the countryside, to protect the way of life that we've got, and not destroy swathes of farmland with wind turbines and solar panels. So you can see reform is essentially just a part of the uniparty, but pretending not to be. It's a very good thing that these 4 mayoral elections have been cancelled. And as I say, Heritage Party members, activists, and so on, with especially Madeline. I need to honour Madeline Hunt, our General Secretary, who has been leading the campaign of writing to councillors, MPs, ministers, councils, and so on, to try to make them realise that the way that they're imposing this is unlawful and undemocratic. Let's look at Surrey, which is not one of the areas that is affected next year, but it's already been affected this year. As you know, what happened this year is nine areas that had scheduled elections, which are in pink here on the map: Norfolk, Suffolk, Essex, Thurrock, West Sussex, East Sussex, Surrey, Hampshire, and the Isle of Wight, had their scheduled county or unitary authority elections cancelled. Well, they were postponed, as they said, but they were essentially cancelled for local government reorganisation. So the existing councils would be disbanded. The idea was to do that, and then they would create these new unitary authorities in the areas in pink. But that's been done so badly and so unlawfully that what's happened really is not the government scared of reform. That's what they're saying. They're not scared of losing the seats. Labour wouldn't win these seats anyway. What's happened is we have been challenging the lawfulness of the process and the lawfulness of the consultations being done in those areas. And the consultations are brazenly biased and completely and totally undemocratic. Let's look at Surrey, which is one of the areas in pink there. And the councils were invited to make proposals for local government reorganisation to the Department of Housing, local government, and two proposals were submitted for Surrey. One to change Surrey into an area with three unitary authorities like this, and another one to change it into an area with two unitary authorities like this. There was no option given to people responding to the consultation to leave Surrey as it is, with a county and those 11 districts there, which I think the majority of people would want to see happen, but they were not given the option. It was either, oh, do you want this or do you want this? And so the people chose out of those two options, even though they were bad options. The option to retain what they had at the moment was not given. The majority of people said, okay, well, out of those two options, we'll have this. We'll have three unitary authorities. The government turned around and says, stuff you. What we're going to do is give you this anyway, even though you don't want it over these two really bad options. So Surrey has got dumped with an option that they didn't want, with no choice to vote to keep what they already had. You see, so this is how the government has been riding roughshod over democracy and basically treating the electorate and voters and citizens with absolute disdain with this whole process of local government reorganisation and imposing county mayors and regional mayors on people to impose Agenda 2030, circumvent democracy at the national level and the local level with these singular mayors like Sadiq Khan, which they want put in place everywhere. So the thing from this, the main point, as I've already said, is it is a good thing that there are not going to be these mayoral elections next year. And they were, apart from Surrey, in all the other areas in pink, they were going to have them in all of those other areas there. They're not going to happen. And because they haven't delayed them by 1 year, but by 2 years, this really is a sign that they're in complete disarray with the local government reorganisation plans. And that is as a direct result of what we have been doing in the Heritage Party, because we actually are looking at the principles of what people are doing, rather than other such people who are just thinking about, oh, maybe I can get a little bit of power for 2 years, but not really care about the future of England. So if you really do care about the future of England, and of course the future of Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland as well, Please come and join me and our team of campaigners and activists who are really seeing success behind the scenes in actually defending our nation from the globalist plans to circumvent democracy and impose the horrors of Agenda 2030 on us through regional mayors and other things. You can join us at heritageparty.org. And if you're a member, I would encourage you to put yourself forward to stand as a candidate in the coming elections in Wales and Scotland and local authority areas around England, which are still going to take place in 2026. And hopefully the scheduled elections for the counties and districts, which we need to keep in those areas, will take place as well. And we will hit this dreadful globalist plan for county mayors being imposed by Keir Starmer completely on the head in the future. heritageparty.org. Come and join us. Thank you for listening, everyone. God bless you all.